So we'd go to the park, and there'd be probably about 15 or 20 people sitting around on the benches, and on the wooden benches, all around there were three sides to the box. That's right. With three speakers, one on either side and one facing.
And a shutter at the back.
And a shutter at the back. And I never knew what was inside that shutter, because a man used to come and open it up, switch on the radio, and put the shutter down, and it seemed to be one of these clandestine things. But as kids, we wouldn't know, but we're always told, you listen but you never ask any questions. And it was the place where we all used to meet. We'd have a game of football, perhaps, in the park, and the tennis courts were there, and the swings were behind, if you remember. And that was the only green part of Glebe, because we all lived in these streets where there were no trees. No trees. It was just raw, and we just lived in tenement type situations. And so the radio was a very, very important part of our day, and we used to keep in touch. Our conversation the next day would be, I wonder if there were programs like Takoni and the Golden Boomerang, Takoni was an Aboriginal boy who would be seeking the Golden Boomerang, and of course the adventures that come in and all the things that would happen. And of course the next day you go to school and you say, did you hear about, I wonder if Takoni's going to get out of that trouble tomorrow night. We'd better listen in. And of course this was the program would always finish with what's going to happen tomorrow, who knows. Like the man would
listen tomorrow at such and
such a time,
and you continue.
And then we'd listen to Martin's Corner, which was a little program, a Dad and Dave, right? And then we'd listen to First Light Fraser.
That's right.
Right, and then of course there was the other one called The Shadow. Do you remember The Shadow?
No, I don't remember The Shadow.
What lurks in the minds of men? Who knows? Who knows? What lurks in the minds of men? And then it would say, the shadow knows. And that was it. And that when everyone would say, oh, we better be careful what we say and what we do, because the shadow knows what we're thinking of. And so that was the box in Rest Park, and now it's called Foley Park. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting that it's to me, over the years, it's been something, and every time I come down down Bridge Road, I always turn my head to the right to see if it's still there.
I think it is.
Oh no, it's still there, Frank. Yeah. But I often think, with all the changes there, I wonder if they've taken it away for some reason or other. But I'm so pleased to hear that it's now going to be immortalised, because it's such a very significant thing. And with so many people, and I can remember the ladies coming to our shop, Frank, buying the beans or buying the peas, and particularly the peas, and going over to the park and shelling their peas to bring home to the. Well, of course, in those days, you remember, the men were at the hotel.
That's right. And
the hotels were 6 o'clock closing, and they were at the Ancient Britain across the road on the corner. Right, at the Ancient Britain. It's still there now. They call it the AB now, not the Ancient Britain. And
I spent $6 million doing it.
That's right. They've just spent a lot of money. And then, of course, what the people would do, the men would have what they call the 6 o'clock squill.
That's right.
And they'd line up 4 schooners of beer, because if you bought your beer before 6 o'clock, you could drink the beer. But if you bought it after 6 o'clock, they wouldn't serve you. But they stay in the hotel till about 6:20 to finish their beer. Well, it's 4 schooners in a row, and then they come across to the park, and then they'd be a little bit abusive to their wives. Yeah. They weren't gentle people. They weren't. Were they, Frank?
Rough and ready.
Rough and ready, as I said to you, but good people, Frank.
Good people.